Here's all 16 hot spring locations in Ghost of Yōtei, so you can get an absurd amount of maximum health and juice up that charm, which really does make a difference in fights. If you do all the hot spring locations yourself, you even get the Fondoshi unique armor set. We've spent ages searching the map to find all of these and then sorting them in an order that's easy to follow and saves you time. So if this does help you out, a like below and comment really makes a difference. Thank you so much, and here's the locations. So first up, we're in the Yotei Grasslands, just northeast of the inn that you start the game near. And all you want to do is run on over to where we showed on the map and look for this climbing point on the cliff and climb your way up. You can see just after climbing to the top, the hot spring is right here. This will probably be the first one you'll get as it's so close to the beginning of the game. Then from here, we want to head on over to the northwest of the same area, as this one is hidden right to the top of the cliff area here where you move into the next zone with the Oni. So look out for the waterfall and this little climb point, climb up, grapple across and head on up. And you can see the hot spring is right at the top of this cliff area, super easy to grab. After that, we are now heading south from where we just were, all the way down to here on the map. And what you want to look out for is an area filled with red flowers. That sort of indicates you're in the right place, as the hot spring will be right near these red flowers on a raised little hill right here. And then we are going down to the south of the Grasslands area. You see there's a hot spring right in the middle of this sort of stretch of the zone. What you want to do is jump down a little opening in the cliff, and you can see the hot spring is just down below after a little bit of parkour. Next up, we're heading over to Tokachi Range, which is still a starter zone, and you want to head to the sort of northwestern part of the map. And as you can see, just up ahead of a little rock around these sort of more amber-colored yellowy trees, the hot spring is right here, kind of out in the open. Next up is the last one in Tokachi Range. It is more to the north of the area in the middle right here on the map. It's pretty much out in the open, raised up slightly, but there's no crazy parkour or anything. So just go to where we showed on the map and you can see it's basically right here out in the open, pretty easy to grab. Next, we're going over to Ishikari Plain, and it's sort of in the southern middle area of the map here for the first one. It's a pretty easy run from one to the next, but this one's a bit of an odd one because you have to run through the sort of chasm that's down below, loop around to the right, and then you'll be where I am as you loop around onto this raised platform. It's quite high up compared to everything else that's down below, but there is an altar and a hot spring here, so definitely worth coming here. But for the actual hot spring, instead of going left to where the altar is, we want to cut between these two rocks and do this parkour section at the back, involving some pretty crazy grappling and jumping across these branches and then climbing up to the actual hot spring. But it is worth it because the altar's nearby too, so two birds with one stone here. You can see the hot spring is just up ahead as you loop around doing that little bit of parkour and climbing. Alright, next we're heading sort of northeast from where we just were over to here on the map, and I'm starting from just outside the forest so you can see the full run in, as there is a very misty forest around here. So follow the actual dirt road into the forest and you'll see there's some lanterns that have some fire on them. So look out for those lanterns as they sort of guide you to where roughly you want to go to get this hot spring, as it is deep in this forest. A little bit hard to spot because of that and all the fog. But as you can see, following the lanterns, bam, we're right here to the hot spring. Next up, we're going further north on the map, so you can easily run from one to the next, as we've said. And to get to this one, it'll be a little bit of parkour, as it is raised up on a sort of rock or cliff side. So climb on up, find the climbing point like I have, and there'll be a little jump across and another climb up to get to this next hot spring. So a little bit of climbing, but pretty easy overall. And then we're heading further northwest from where we just were to here on the map. And this one will require a little bit of climbing as well. You can see it up ahead on the cliff on the rocks. So yet again, a little parkouring to get up there. A lot of them seem to be placed quite highly on these rocks, so they're easy to spot, but do require a little climbing. So look for the climb point where we've just started, and you can see it's a pretty straightforward climb to the top, with a few crazy grapples coming up ahead as well. But by this point in the game, I'm guessing you guys are pretty good at these grapple jumps. A back-to-back grapple jump swing onto the rocks, and then a jump grapple to the top, and the hot spring is yours just up ahead. Next up, we're going over to the Nayoro Wilds. There's only one hot spring here. It's here on the map over to the western side of the area. So this one's going to be a little bit more complex, as you want to ride forward along the flowers, and then just up ahead there'll be a jumping grapple point followed by a little bit of a climb. So just do as I do, head on up there and wait until you get a little higher up, and then follow along our route. When you climb to the top of the cliff, there'll be a little log on the right to go across, and then more climbing to get up higher. Now, when you make it to the top of the cliff, there will actually be a cave inside, and this cave does have an alternative path to get to an altar. So if you want to get the altar, then you can take the other path that we're going to not go down, which is the left. So instead, head on right to go further up, and then start climbing to get as high as possible. As you can see, once you've climbed your way up as high as possible, just run out the cave and the hot spring is right outside. Not too hard to get when you know where to go. Now we're going over to Teshio Ridge, the sort of colder area, over to the west side of the map first. This one's really easy, it's just up a little climb you can see here, but sometimes there's enemies nearby and you will have to take them out first if you haven't already, as you can't use a hot spring if there's any enemies nearby. So if there are enemies here, take them out, otherwise it's an easy hot spring to grab. Next, we're heading over to the actual inn of this area, as there's actually a hot spring here that you can pay to use. If you've already paid, it will be free. But what you want to do is go across the bridge and then take a left and head down to the building on the very left that you can see from the main entrance of the bridge. Inside here, there might be someone to speak to and pay a few coin, and then you can just use the hot spring, so pretty easy if you have the coin. Next up, we're heading to the northern area of the map, as you can see right here, to get the last one of this area, this zone. And as you can see, when you ride around this sort of zone, there'll be a little climb path in the cliff. You can see I found it here. So it's another little parkour up, as it is in a raised area on this cliff line along the rocks. So climb on up. There'll be some jumping up ahead as well across a branch, some more climbing, and you'll be there. So a pretty easy hot spring, again, when you know where to go for it. Next, we're heading over to Oshima Coast, and you can see along the northern part of the area, right here on the map is where we want to go first. And this one is pretty cool because you have to squeeze through a gap and then climb on up to get it. So a little squeeze through here, climb on up, grab it, and then you can actually slide down. I do love the slide points in this game. They have like the rubbly slide parts. So you can grab this and then do a little slide afterwards. And then next, we're doing the final one. You can see it right here on the map in the sort of southeastern part of the Oshima coast. This one's interesting as it's a bit more tricky to get to. So it looks like it's really easy just up this rock so you can climb on up. But actually you can only access it if you go across a broken bridge. You can see it's right there, the hot spring is super close yet super far. And you can't go up this little rubble bit. So we actually need to run all the way around the rock platform that it's on. And you'll see there's a broken bridge. And to get across that, we actually just need to climb down and then climb back up and use our grapple hook. So you can see there's a nice grapple point here. So descend your way down all the way to the bottom, and there'll be a little climb point on the other side to get up where the other half of the broken bridge is. You can follow the golden bird. It also sort of takes you the sort of right way. So climb on up, grapple, and there'll be a bunch of people using this hot spring. They'll be very scared of you because you're in your full samurai gear with your weapons and everything. So they'll all run away and the final hot spring is yours. And then you've got the armor, you've got the upgraded charm to the maximum version, and just tons of health. So we hope this helped you out. Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.